What a difference a year makes for Cape Breton's tourism industry. In 2019, the industry enjoyed record numbers as part of a record setting year here in Nova Scotia. But things couldn't possibly be bleaker this spring, and it looks like that could continue well into the summer thanks to COVID-19 and the accompanying social distancing restrictions here in Nova Scotia. There have been no end to the cancellation of festivals and community events, including such marquee events as the Granville Green Concert Series in Port Hawkesbury and the island-wide Celtic Colours Folk Festival that's scheduled for every October but is now going online this fall for the first time in its history. To make matters worse, cruise ships announced that they weren't going to be coming to either the Port of Sydney or the Port of Halifax over the next 5 months, and that could make things even more difficult for a tourism industry that's already struggling. So we decided to speak to Terry Smith. He's the Chief Executive Officer for the major umbrella group overlooking tourism in Cape Breton Island. It's called Destination Cape Breton Association. Here's that conversation with Terry Smith right now.
And we're very pleased to welcome the CEO of Destination Cape Breton Association, Terry Smith, to Telile 24/7. You're in Myra today, Terry. How is the weather over there, and how are things holding up out on the Myra?
Well, it's beautiful out on the Myra today, and it was only a couple of weeks ago that I would look out my window and see snow coming down. So it's great that we're seeing some temperatures up in the 20s. So it's getting better, and summer's coming.
All right. Every little bit will help at a time like this. Yes, we are finished with the snow. At least we certainly hope we are, for sure. So in all seriousness, though, your job and the job of the people you represent got significantly harder over the last couple of months with the arrival of COVID-19 and the related social distancing protocols here in Nova Scotia. Can you wind the clock back a little bit and give us a sense as to when you and the tourism stakeholders here in Cape Breton Island got a sense that something was going wrong and that this could be really, really huge in terms of its impact this summer? Was it mid-March when the social distancing protocols crept in, or did you have a sense even before that that you folks needed to prepare for this?
Well, we were watching probably late February, early March, around that time. Whenever Canada first got a case, but even then, it still seemed like this is something from somewhere, a distant thing, and it wasn't really clear how this might affect us. And I think it was around March 11th or 12th when the day that all the sports leagues kind of announced that they were shutting down. I think it clued in then. I remember, I think that was a Thursday, because I remember going into the office on Friday and saying to our team that, we're probably going to be closing the office in about 2 weeks. And that was on Friday. And then I went back in on Monday and closed the office that day. So it snuck up. We knew there was a pandemic, of course, but it got close to home very fast, and then it was trying to just sort out what is this going to mean for our industry? Is this going to shut everything down for the whole season and so forth? And to be honest, we're still working through those issues, but that's kind of how it started.
Well, that's just it. As you mentioned, everything has changed bit by bit as we go. And I mean, it feels like someone in your position and someone in the position anywhere in the tourism industry in Cape Breton almost has to rip up the plan and start a new plan every other week, to say nothing of every other day these days. What are you hearing from the individual tourism operators? And we look at people like bed and breakfasts and hotels and motels, campgrounds, even restaurants and event planners. What's the mood been like over the last couple of months, and is that mood improving at all, as it looks like Nova Scotia may be willing to loosen up some of the social distancing restrictions that we've had in the past?
Well, the mood initially was just one of concern and worry. Just how long is this going to go on? How is it going to affect our season? What supports are going to be in place? And I think that the federal government announced some things. They had to change a little bit and learn as they were going, and announce changes to programs, things like the wage subsidy and so forth. So as those programs rolled out, we were in contact with operators around the island pretty regularly, just to get a sense of, are those programs working for them? Who is slipping through the gaps? And then we're communicating that to folks we know that would be able to influence the situation, like our two MPs, and we're a member of the Tourism Industry Association of Canada. So they were meeting with the decision makers in Ottawa on a regular basis. So doing things like that. And to be honest, there is still concern among operators, because even though I would say most tourism operators have benefited from some of the supports from the federal and provincial government, some haven't. In some cases, just the criteria doesn't fit them. In some cases, for small businesses, especially newer ones that had just started up, they're just not in a position to take on more debt. And almost all of these programs have been structured around loans. So some people just aren't in a position to take advantage of that. So we're still advocating for more support specifically for the tourism industry, because even all the billions probably that's been announced, nothing is going to come close to replacing the peak season revenues that these operators were depending upon. And it's those revenues that keep them going through the winter, as many of them are seasonal, to keep them sustainable and paying all the bills through the winter. So we're still pushing for that. In terms of the mood now, I think it's shifted to, for many operators, that they are eager to get open. Especially here in the province, we have, as of today, 17 active cases, so it's coming down. They're eager to open things up, but there's a lot of questions about what the protocols are going to be, and we're hopeful for answers soon from the province on that.
Do you get the sense, Terry, that even if, just throwing a figure out there, these operations are able to open at even a third capacity or a quarter capacity through the next few months, if social distancing restrictions ease up, that this might be too much for them to bear, that, not wanting to look at it fatalistically, but that there could be a real risk that some of the smaller operations might not survive 2020 and might not be around to welcome visitors in 2021?
Well, that's my concern, and I've spoken to a number of smaller. It seems to be smaller or newer operations that seem to be affected the most, and they're very concerned. Yeah, they might be able to salvage a little bit through this season, but then paying the bills through the winter, that's really a question. And I'm very concerned that we're going to lose some operators, and some important operators as well, in terms of the experiences they provide. So yeah, we still firmly believe that more specific support is needed for the tourism industry.
I wanted to ask you as well about the idea of festivals and events and how much they bring to the tourism table as well. And right now we're looking at a pretty empty landscape throughout the summer. Pretty much everything you could name of a large and small scale has been canceled, leading right up to the recent announcement of the Celtic Colours Festival going completely online in October. Can you paint a picture for me of what kind of a dent that puts into the tourism industry as well, and how difficult it is to be able to entice visitors here, even if they can be brought here when there are no festivals or events in the communities?
Yeah, so Celtic Colours, as an example, I mean, that is kind of the signature event that we have on the island. the economic impact of that was $18.7 million to Cape Breton's economy in 2019. So that's just, it's huge. And I think it must have been a gut wrenching decision for them to have to change to an online performance for this year. But I think they're doing the best that they can to ensure that they keep interest among people that come back and are interested in the festival year after year. So I think I applaud them for taking this step, and we are planning to be partners with them in those live streams. As far as some of the other events around the island, some of them do motivate people to come here to visit. I think of something like Pirate Days in St. Peter's, for example, a wonderful event. There are people that I met them that they come down from different places to take part in that event, and the whole community of St. Peter's is buzzing, and the surrounding area as well. So things like that, it probably won't be able to happen at all this year, which is very unfortunate. So that's going to mean that some people will not come to the island, won't be staying in our accommodations, won't be eating in our restaurants, and so forth. So it's a major thing. And just for those who do come, so we still have some experiences to offer, but for those who do come, festivals and events, just the community festivals and events that happen all over the island, they are a big part of what people want to experience when they come. Our visitors tend to be folks that they want to do what the locals do. They want to rub shoulders with Cape Bretoners and have conversations, get to know them a little bit, and experience what local communities would be doing. So that's going to be something that is sorely missed by those who do come to the island this year.
In the face of all this, Terry, I know the Destination Cape Breton Association has done what they can to try to offer some positives to the community. And one of the ways that you folks did that is a campaign that's just starting to wrap up now, the 30 Days of Thanks campaign for various island organizations and individuals. I know municipalities have come on board in supporting this as well, too, including Richmond and Port Hawkesbury here in our coverage area. Can you tell me a bit about how that all came about and how it seems to have worked out in terms of being able to boost some morale?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the initial concept was that we should do something around gift certificates, and Dan Coffin, who was the tourism director in Victoria County, and I had a conversation, and then I took it back to our marketing team, and they came up with this concept, 30 Days of Thanks, to recognize the contributions of some of our essential service providers around the island, and at the same time, it allows us to reward them with some gift certificates, gift cards to take part in various tourism businesses, tourism experiences around the island as well, and in many cases, hopefully, because what we've done is. When for example, somebody from Richmond, or it's a day when Richmond County is the presenting sponsor of the campaign, we will have an experience that brings somebody to Richmond County to experience Richmond County experiences. But we always make sure that the person is from outside of Richmond County, so that they will be coming in and spending more time in a community, and in some cases maybe they'll be visiting a community that they haven't visited in a long time, or maybe not ever. So it's a way to just get a little bit of support for our operators, and recognize those essential service workers, and hopefully just prime the pump in terms of getting people interested in exploring our island this summer.
In that spirit, Terry, I want to talk about the idea of the staycation for both Cape Bretoners and for Nova Scotians. I know in a recent interview, Mary Pat Mumberket of the Glace Bay Miners Museum suggested that upwards of 85% of her visitors are from off-island, and I imagine that figure holds up around many parts of Cape Breton Island. Do you get the sense that with COVID-19 and with the restrictions that we've been experiencing and the travel restrictions that'll result, that this is a wonderful opportunity for Cape Bretoners to be able to find a part of the island that they've never discovered or haven't been to for a while? Could this help us through what could be a difficult summer?
Absolutely, and that's part of the campaign that we'll be launching in just a couple of weeks. You know, we have just an amazing island that we live in, and I've been fortunate to get to travel most of it, but there are many people, you know, it's been years since they've gone around the Cabot Trail, or maybe they've never been to Arashat before, or Petit de Gras. You know, to promote some of the hidden gems on the island, or the lesser traveled places, that will be part of what we do, just to try to get people moving all around the island and not just going to the more popular tourist areas. So that's going to be part of the campaign that we roll out, because you know, it's there's something special, you know, wherever you go on the island that you can experience. My wife and I were just as they announced that we could go out to parks and stuff recently. We took a trip out to Morrison's Beach, which you know, is the far eastern end of Richmond County, but which is just spectacular, and just seeing that, and posted some photos, and then everybody's saying, where is that? So you know, hopefully we can encourage some people to get out and do something that they haven't done in a long time, or maybe for the first time.
We're doing this interview, Terry, during Tourism Week, and obviously this is bittersweet to be looking at Tourism Week right now. I know that just yesterday, you folks at Destination Cape Breton Association put out figures that shown that Cape Breton's numbers have been climbing year by year, and in some cases reaching record highs in 2019. That being said, even with a difficult period like 2020 and the possibility of a second wave carrying us well into the new year, do you get the sense that there are lessons that are being learned by yourself and by your organization and by the tourism stakeholders around Cape Breton Island? Are there any positives that we can take away from this that might help the tourism industry overall in the years to come after we get through this?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, well, hopefully from just a human being perspective, that we all, you know, cherish what is important in life, and maybe don't get as caught up in the rat race, and take more time to smell the flowers, and to get out and, you know, explore our beautiful island. So that can be part of it. But for the industry, we certainly expect, one of the things that we try to we've been hammering away at for a while is just to try to get visitors to spend more time on the island, and to go to more areas of the island. You know, I've met visitors that, whether they're from Ontario or the States, who have told me, we've only got 2 days in Cape Breton, and we've done the western side of the Cabot Trail yesterday, and we're doing the eastern side tomorrow, and then we're off to PEI. And my message is, like that's crazy. You're spending your whole vacation in a car, and you're not really getting to know the destination, and she is worth getting to know. So anyway, I think that's one thing that we're going to continue to try to push for people to spend, you know, 5 to 7 days or longer here on the island. And and one of the things that is mindful for me, I just saw some research this morning on in terms of um, residents and how they feel about welcoming visitors into their communities this summer in the midst of this pandemic, and and there's definitely a lot more we have to do to provide confidence to local residents in that regard, and hopefully that's coming. But as we go forward, I think we're going to pay a lot more attention to communicating with our own residents and to ensuring that we want to continue to grow the tourism industry, but we want to do it in a way that is respectful of communities, that's not changing the character of communities, that is supporting our rich and vibrant culture, so that continues. Those are things that I think we have to do if we're going to retain what really makes Cape Breton Island special. So we'll be thinking about that a lot more, and then coming back with some approaches so that we can have a better finger on the pulse.
Well, we'll hope for the very best from those discussions and from the next few months, as difficult as they might be, Terry. We've covered a lot of ground in this interview. I appreciate you taking some time for me. Did you want to add anything else about all of this just before we wrap up here today?
Well, I just say for anyone who's watching, I would encourage you this year to get out and explore your island, and whether that's in your own backyard, supporting some of the wonderful restaurants and experiences that you have there, and going somewhere that you haven't gone before. I mean, even with social distancing, Cape Breton has so much to offer in terms of outdoor experiences, hiking, kayaking, golfing, things like boating and sailing, going to a beach, surfing, things like that can still be done safely while keeping a distance. And so those are the things that we certainly encourage people to get out and do, and please support your tourism operators in your community. If you got people coming to visit, instead of saying, well, we can pull out the spare couch, why don't you suggest that they stay at the place down the road, and might be spending a few dollars, but that business could really use that business right now.
Definitely so. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much, Terry, for giving us some time here. We wish everybody in the Cape Breton tourism industry well, and hope to be able to catch up with you a little ways down the road to see how everything is going.
Well, thank you very much, Adam, and it's my pleasure.